All right, welcome back. This is the Happy Toolbox, and today I'll be going over a pretty quick tip. This is something I've been using in my own work quite a bit, and hopefully it'll help you, especially if you have a client who has an array of products they want rendered on the same tabletop, or maybe they need a mix and match of their products but don't quite know the order yet, or maybe you're just doing some R&D with some object layouts and want to rapid iterate through them without setting up an advanced take system or going through the trouble of turning models on and off and on and off and on and off. All right, let's get started. As you can see, I have my little workshop tabletop scene set up here. I'm not going to go over any of the lighting or modeling. Let me know if you want me to do that in a future tutorial. For now, I'm just going to show you how I set this cycling up. I have my set of models or products that I want to swap for one another. I've already made a mental note of kind of which ones I want to swap for each other, so I'll go ahead and set that up. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab a cloner object. Now, normally when I'm grabbing a cloner object, I'm making 400 of something and I'm having them fly through space and want a bunch of effectors on them. But here we're just using them for a very straightforward, simple setup, but it uses the power of MoGraph. So I'm going to take this cloner object, put it in my models null. This is just a null I have set up because my world space is a little different, and I'm going to zero that out under there. Now I'm going to go over to object. And normally if I just leave this cloner how it was and I, let's say, put this power drill inside of it, here's my power drill, but if I go outside of my camera, you'll see this power drill is just duplicated up in space a few times, which is cool and all if you want that, but that's not what we're going for. So we're going to make sure our cloner object is in linear, but our count is down to 1, and our Y positional value is down to 0. Let's go back to our camera. I'm going to pull this power drill out of there. And then I'm going to control, drag, duplicate this cloner object 4 times. It's command drag if you're on a Mac. So here I have group 1, group 2, 3, and group 4. And now I'm going to stack the models I want into each of these groups. So let's go for laptop, Bice, trophy, microscope in group 1. Glue bottle, motor oil, oil additive in group 2. Coffee cup and tin can in group 3. Now let's throw jar in there too. And then power drill and bleach in group 4. So now I have my groups. I'm going to actually pull them outside of this null. Delete that. I don't need it anymore. And then what I basically have is just the singular models now. So I'm going to position them how I normally would. Let's take the oil additive, maybe place it in the background over here. I'm going to keep the drill over to the right-hand side. Rotate that around. Take my jar, maybe position that slightly in front of the oil additive. And yeah, and maybe have my laptop rotate a little bit. And then let's just color these so we know what's going on. So group 4, green, red, blue, yellow. All right, so we have our nice little scene set up. And again, this is a very straightforward tip. Since we set our cloner object up in that way, the power of it is now with offset, we can just cycle through the models. So if I go to offset 1, it automatically switches to the second model in our grouping, Bice. And on this actual cloner object, if you unselect fix clone, it allows you to rotate the clone inside of the object, and it'll respect its position, rotation, and scale. So there we go. Go to offset 2. Got a trophy. Position our trophy. So again, the power of this is I can cycle through all these different objects, and I can more importantly keyframe them. So if I go to the beginning of my timeline and I want offset 0, I already have my laptop rotated. That's why the placement messed up. So I have offset 0. And then I want, my second frame render to be the trophy. Then I'm going to go offset 2 and keyframe it. So now I have a really simple, easy setup for how to cycle through these models in the same exact placement, and it makes life a whole lot easier versus turning these on and off, and keeping track of where everything's going. So let's do the same for this. Going to uncheck fix clone, go to offset 2, go to my motor oil, rotate that around. And that is the simple cycling setup. I hope this tip helped you guys out. Again, we're leveraging the power of MoGraph for something you might not expect, or maybe you learned this on day 2 of your Cinema 4D education. If you guys would like this video and subscribe to our channel, that would help us out a ton. We're going to continue to put out more tutorials, and as always, if you are interested in any 3D assets, we have over 500 of them on our website, thehappytoolbox.com. All right, until next time.